Hi guys, how are you? So as I was scrolling through the streets of social media, especially on TikTok and Facebook, there is a certain concern that actually struck my mind, and that is basically where parents are complaining about the increased expenditure that they have noticed in the last 2 to 3 weeks because kids have closed schools for the next 2 months. They'll be at home until early January, and we are in November. So you can imagine the impact that these parents are actually facing or actually worried about, and that is why, as a registered dietitian, I have decided to create this video where we're going to talk about how to still maintain a healthy, nutritious diet or meals or lifestyle for your kids during the holiday and still make sure that you protect your coins. So if you have not subscribed, my name is Lilian Momina. I am a registered clinical nutritionist, and I create content on health and nutrition with a focus on women and child health. So please make sure that you click that subscribe button, like and share this video with a mom or someone who you know might be struggling with the holiday economic spikes. So let's understand first that during the holidays, kids have longer hours, more time in the house. That means that they have more access to the snacks or the foods that you have bought. And then apart from that, also comes the aspect of emotional eating, where some might be eating because of boredom. So let's talk about some of the things that you can start implementing in your house today to actually help you maintain a sustainable budget with your kids at home and still maintain their nutrition and health status. First, you need to stop with the influencers pressure. When you're scrolling through TikTok or even Facebook or even YouTube, you'll come across influencers with their monthly restocks or even weekly restocks that is full of highly refined and highly processed foods and snacks. So when you go through it, you're thinking, oh my god, I need to start shopping like them. I need to start doing this because it looks cool, it looks tasty, it looks like it's appealing. But in the reality, they're actually promoting what you're trying to curtail. That is basically malnutrition in children, where we're having a lot of kids being overweight. Currently, you're having a lot of kids being underweight, and you're having even kids having micronutrient deficiencies because the foods that they are consuming are not nutrient dense and they're not even beneficial to their body. If you consume or if you adapt certain shopping habits, you're definitely going to make sure that you have in your house availability of these highly refined foods that do not provide much nourishment to your child, but they are so good with spiking sugar spikes, and this will definitely bring them or give them energy dips and crashes that will actually now create more cravings for the sugars or the refined foods. The second thing is, of course, you need now to look for alternatives, because I've told you to shop smart. What are you going to give your kids? It's the holiday season. I am sure your nanny can afford now to wake up at 6 or 7 and they can be able to actually boil maize, they can boil ndoma, they can even boil ngwashes and such for your kids for breakfast instead of the mandazis and the bread. And they contain better nutrition, they contain more fiber, they are rich in micronutrients like vitamin A, vitamin C, and this actually now contributes to the metabolic health of your child, and this reduces the occurrences of these cravings that are caused by hormonal disruption that is caused by overconsumption of these highly refined and empty foods. I'm not saying that bread is bad. Of course, there are those days that you will not want to boil the ngwashes and such. Then you can go in and actually now support the bread with something like maybe eggs, peanut butter to increase the fat content and to also improve the nutrition quality of that bread. And when they feed that with their tea or even their porridge in the morning, they're less likely to be hungry 2 hours later than if they feed bread and tea loaded with sugar alone. Are we together? That is on the healthy swaps. Just a minute. My cat was really making noise at the background, so you will excuse me on that. So of course, the next thing that we're going to talk about is on the snacking. This is where the problem is now, because you want your kids to look like cool, they are cool, or you want to look like you're cool. You want to now give your babies crisps, you want to give them biscuits, you want to load them with a lot of sweets. We are lucky in Kenya, we have seasonal fruits all around. Currently, right now, we have mangoes, there's oranges, melons, and pineapples. And if you are in those regions where we have other seasonal fruits, then you can give them those as snacks as opposed to giving them the highly refined foods. You can also make them nuts if you can actually access them. Give them things like maybe yogurt or even the natural malas, or even milk instead of the crazy snacks that you are buying for food. Someone will come to me and say, oh, I cannot afford milk. Milk is 60 bob. The other snacks that you're going to buy, assuming you have 3 kids, you buy the snacks for 20, that is 60 shillings. And you can buy the milk and they share, the 3 of them, and that will still be okay as a snack. If you get them a banana or even mango and even something like maybe pineapple or even pears, whatever it is available or it is accessible, that is still a better alternative to the snacks that you're giving them. And of course, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is on hydration. You know, when they were going to school, you were packing a bottle of water every morning for them. That is the routine for most parents. Now, when they are at home, are you truly actually monitoring their hydration levels? It's very easy for you to overeat when you are dehydrated, because the mind signals your body to take something, and if you're not well hydrated, you might end up taking unnecessary foods. And the same applies to kids. Allow your kids to take water. Make sure that you set hydration goals. When they go outside, when they come in and ask for a snack, ask them to take a sip or a glass of water. Wait for like 20 minutes. If they're still hungry, then they can have something to eat. You can continue with the water bottle routines, where you have their water bottles in the houses. Like my daughter's is there, but she will still come and take mine because I'm taking with a glass right now, but hers is there. She knows that when she comes out from play, she needs to take the water. Let me just show you. It's currently empty, but you're going to refill it. Here it is. So you can make sure that you maintain such routines or such habits. And of course, you also need to give them healthier fluids and such to replace the ions. You can give them maybe soups if you have the soups in the house. They can have chocolate drinks without sugar or limited sugar, because over here we advocate for limited consumption of additional or synthetic sugar. Anything that is not found naturally occurring, we are not for it. One thing with water intake is that it promotes metabolic function, it promotes digestion, because I have seen so many parents complaining that their kids do not go to the toilet very often. Like constipation is currently being normalized because parents think that it's okay for your kid to stay 1 or 2 days without going to the toilet. No. First, you remember there's that aspect where now we prevent the metabolic conditions, like if you have girls like PCOS or hormonal regulations from way before. None of the goals that we actually educate or encourage women to actually do who have girls is to delay estrogen dominance or estrogen overload as much as we can. One of the best ways to do that is to make sure that you are metabolically active to promote proper digestion. That actually helps in the removal of waste products, and this includes the overproduction of unnecessary hormones, not just insulin, not just estrogen here and there. If your goal is actually protecting your babies, of course you need to make sure that you're promoting things that are actually promoting proper digestion, and of course some of them include intake of fermented foods. I know things like bitters or other fermented foods, maybe sauerkraut, might be so new to the kids because maybe you have not introduced them to sour or fermented foods, and I'm actually encouraging you to start the introduction now. If you see this video today, please by all means, let's start introducing our babies to different textures, different flavors and different taste as much as we can, because over here we take mala and we don't do the flavored or the sugared or sweetened mala as they call it. We do the natural ones, and if it's kefir, we still do it like that, and my baby does not have any objection with drinking it like that. But I have seen her friends when they come here acting like it's the worst punishment that they are actually getting by me telling them to take mala without sugar or even tea without sugar. We do chocolatey because of the tannins, and I also like give her breakfast with egg because I know she'll be playing. Like right now she'll be playing so much, so because I know she's going to be very active, I try as much as I can to make sure that her meals are as dense as they can. And of course we need to encourage play. It's 12:30. As you can see, I don't know if it's clear, my screen is not so clean, but it's 12:31. For most parents, their kids are still in the house, glued to the TV, or even playing video games or games on their phones, because according to them, they did not grow up with videos, they did not grow up with TVs, or they struggled and they think that it's okay, and they don't want their kids to interact with the neighbors because they assume the neighbors' kids are not clean, or they don't want to be seen or to have their kids seen roaming around the streets. I know for the safety concerns, like I'm a parent, I understand that I will not want my baby to go outside, but you see where I live, we have the advantage of choosing a place that is very convenient for kids. I might not like this place at all, but I have been able to vumilia because of its benefits to my baby. It has a playground. If you have babies above like 7 years, they can do football. Even 5, like mine, they play football, they play hide and seek, they're running all over. In a few seconds, you'll just, even in the background, you can still hear kids talking, and they're not in the neighboring flats, they're just within. So kids here are very active, and if you are that parent who has been conditioned to actually now promote addictions because you think that it's the 21st century, because that is what the parents actually come up with. When you tell them to release their kids from screen addiction, they'll tell you it's the technology world, we cannot avoid gadgets. Yeah, even my baby is gadget aware. She knows how to operate a tablet, she knows how to operate the TV, she even knows how to operate my phone, and even this camera that I'm recording with. But that does not mean that she's going to stay in the house for like 2 or 3 hours just here. No. Even like my help, my mama, they know. I get really upset because I know of the benefits that the babies get from playing. We have the social and cognitive development where the babies develop empathy, they develop social skills, networking skills, emotional regulations. Wanachokozana hapa kule, wanapigana, wanabilia kidogo kidogo hapa kule, the baby toughens up. When you put them in that cocoon, when they go outside, they'll not be able to survive. They'll get a lot of anxiety. We have a lot of kids with social anxiety. Someone cannot even talk with others because they are scared of even approaching kids. Like, kids will not be suffering with such problems. Let's allow our kids to go outside and play. Even makes them smart because they are being able to play some other games that require a lot of critical thinking, creative thinking. Their brains are being functional, as opposed to when they are glued to the screen as zombies. And of course, another thing that you have to do is promote sleep. I know, because you want to be that understanding parent and your kids has been sleeping early and you think that's a punishment, or if you have been having that routine yourself where you don't sleep early, you don't prioritize sleep, and now the kids are on holiday, you have no reason to actually now force them to go and sleep. First, you need to start being a role model, because babies do what we do more than what we actually tell them. So of course, you are going to start working on your sleep patterns, and of course you're going to reduce the overconsumption of the unnecessary foods at night. Remember that when the kids have a lot of time, like when they're watching a lot of TV, they're just in the house, they'll just go 1 minute to the kitchen, get a snack, come continue. The longer they stay awake, the more likely they are going to overconsume the snacks, especially if you have made them available in the house. So if you want sweet stuff, you can do fruits, you can do bananas, you can do dates, you can do raisins, cranberries and all that. You can also do strawberries. They can actually have them throughout the day, but at night, let's maintain a sleep routine, preferably the one they were actually going to school with, and you can actually extend it in the morning by avoiding to wake them up. Give them a few more hours to rest, to rejuvenate, and to even grow, as they say. And of course, you need to also work with a dietitian. You see, if your baby is struggling with food intake, like they are over consuming, they're struggling with emotional regulations or disorders that actually affect their food intake, or they're struggling with things like maybe obesity, they are underweight, they're having a lot of eczemas, intolerances, they're not able to or take up things like maybe legumes, they're having a lot of indigestion here and there, then you can work with a professional. Reach out. At Mumina Wellness, we offer those services where we talk to you and your kids about the importance of healthy eating. We specialize in personalizing care in everything that we do. By the way, I'm not going to come and tell you now to stop eating this because I told another kid to do that. No, I will come to you, we talk about the needs of your child, the needs of your household, what your household can actually work with, what it can actually afford and what it cannot, what is accessible and what is not, and then we plan with that in mind. And we also do a follow-up to ensure that you follow through, and we try as much as you can to actually encourage healthy living. Some people are in the house again, I don't know what they are doing. What do you want?
Mama won't let people touch their baby cats.
You want to go and touch baby cats? Why?
Because they're so cute and they're under the chairs and it's dark in there. I was just sitting down relaxing there, popping my puppet. But Mama said if he sees me there again, he will beat me.
Yeah, don't disturb the cats. Let them grow first. And then when they grow, you can take them out. You know, the mother has put them under the chairs so that they can be protected from harm, so that no bad animals can actually eat them. Is that okay? So when you remove them outside, they become exposed to such
remove
animals.
them outside.
You are doing what?
I'm scratching them inside. Just inside to almost Papa just scared me so I get out. I wanted
Anyways, guys, remember that if you need personalized care on child health and nutrition, reach out to Mina Wellness and we will be talking more about it. Remember to subscribe and watch this playlist next on child nutrition, and let's meet there. Bye.